What's going on, sports fans? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host. I won't say the State of the Saints podcast this time. This is the Crescent City Connection podcast, and I'm alongside my big brother from Pick Six Blog World, where you can check that out on Twitter. My big brother, EJ Jones. EJ, what's going on, man?
What's up, man? How you doing? What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody in sports land? What's up?
Man, this is crazy, man. I'm gonna have to really kind of change the way I do some things. You know, like when you do a podcast so long, you got like this routine. So I was trying like before the show, like to try to wean myself off, you know what I'm saying? Coming up with these State of the Saints podcast references before we did this show. But man, before we get started, man, this is a sports show. I want to let everybody know this is a sports show. And the reason, you know, we came up with this concept is because a lot of people that follow the State of the Saints and follow some of the things I do in sports, you know, I tell them all the time about you, man. I tell them all the time. Like I tell them the reason I love sports so much is because of you. And I want to give a backstory. I don't know if you remember this, but this was when we stayed on Feliciana Street. And my mom, she was working at in the summer program. And it was Paige used to always go. Paige is our sister. Paige used to always like go to all the trips with her. So it was like this whole summer, it was just like me and you hanging out. I want to say maybe you was like in 12th grade. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm like 3 years younger than you. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm around like, you know, 9th, 10th grade at the time. And all we did, bro, was like walk to Winn-Dixie, across the Gelvis Bridge, and used to get like these college football magazines, man. And I remember like we used to quiz each other about the name of a player and what school they went to. And that was followed by playing NCAA football on PlayStation 2, like, oh, some alone, man. But that really, to me, is when I really fell in love with sports. Like, I was like, man, I want to do this. Like, this is like what I'm really passionate about. And like, honestly, man, it just started off, man. I just wanted to kick it with you and be able to talk sports with you. And I turned this joint into a career, man. But
man. Yeah, man, appreciate that, man. I mean, I still buy those magazines, Hotel Sports. Yeah. Shout out to them or whatever. Yeah. Getting me right for college football and everything.
Man, you used to study them things like a Bible. Like, man, for real, you didn't give yourself some credit. Like this dude used to study these college books like a Bible. Like, man, I'm talking about like he know these guys upside, like high school they went to, size, weight, all this stuff, and just followed it, man. And it was just incredible, like, to watch. But hey, man, we doing a sports show together, man. A Crescent City connection, man. Of course, you know, being from New Orleans, some of you probably, you know about the Crescent City connection. It's the Mississippi River Bridge that connects the West Bank from the east to the East Bank. You know what I'm saying? But the Crescent City connection, I thought it would suffice, man, because, you know, I mean, even though I'm in South Carolina, you still down there in New Orleans, you know what I'm saying? We still connected by that, you know what I'm saying? The Crescent City. So thought that was pretty dope. But, you know, we ain't here to talk about, you know what I'm saying, all the backstories and everything like that. We just wanted to let y'all know why we're doing this. But we got some stuff we need to talk about, E. We got some breaking news that just came out. I mean, I can't believe this, man. Well, I can, but I mean, this is the person we're talking about. We're talking about Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is saying that he's torn. This is according to Ian Rappaport, that Aaron Rodgers is torn between coming back to the Green Bay Packers and seeing what's out there in free agency. I started with this, man. Aaron Rodgers is a weird dude. Like, I just want to say that the dude weird, man. Like, dude going like this rant, like he on some Kanye West type stuff on social media, on Instagram, wrote this big, long I Have a Dream speech, you know, talking about his life and acting like he was about to retire. Now it's like he got his foot in the water, got his foot out of the water. I don't get this dude, man. I mean, do you? I mean, what's up with this cat?
I mean, for Aaron Rodgers, it's like when you start to get uncertain about your NFL career, about where you want to do this, where you want to be here, and all that.
Right.
I mean, that kind of sounds like retirement to me, to be honest with you. Because, I mean, usually football players know when they want to play football. He unsure if he want to play football. He unsure if he want to play for the Packers. So I'm like, but if he does retire, it's going to be the biggest news since Hulk Hogan when turned into a bad guy. If you remember that in 1996.
NWO, man.
Yeah. When he turned heel Yeah, this could probably be the biggest news since then because remember, he was the MVP last year.
Yep.
So how many players be MVP, then the next year they retire?
Yeah.
I mean, this would be huge news if that was to happen. But, I mean, I can't see a team. Well, let me rephrase that. I don't know of a team who would not be interested in Aaron Rodgers if he was to lead the Green Bay Packers. I say that. Even teams with a quarterback. Shoot, you might see the Kansas City Chiefs in that sweepstakes.
Yeah.
So everybody be involved in that one.
Yeah. Man, I just think that Aaron Rodgers is a whiner. I'm going to just be serious, man. Look, I understand that everybody has an ego. You know what I'm saying? Like, you play on a high level, you got to have like this level of assurance about yourself. You got to believe in yourself. You got to believe what you're selling out there on the field. And yes, man, he deserves like all the praise and everything like that as far as him being a quarterback. But I really don't get like the big fuss about Aaron Rodgers. Like, Aaron Rodgers basically has the career equivalent. He's basically just Drew Brees with arm talent. You know what I'm saying? Like, he only has like one Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I mean, he won a couple of MVPs and stuff like that. But I just think that the dude just wants to make all the focus on him, and he wants to take very little blame for what goes down in big moments. Like, I look at it in the playoffs, right? They played against the 49ers, and we know the 49ers are a formidable bunch. I mean, they're a big physical football team, and they don't bow down to anybody, no matter what the circumstances are. But instead of him taking some credit, you know what I'm saying, for the loss, he wants to look at special teams. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, they can block as many punts as they want to, field goals. But if you're out there matriculating the ball down the field and you're executing your offense the way that you should, then your team wouldn't have been in that position. And I just think that this dude like likes to blame other people for his problems. You know what I'm saying? First, it was Mike McCartney. Him and Mike didn't get along. They got rid of Mike. In comes Matt LaFleur. All he has done is brought these guys to 2 NFC championship games in the past 3 seasons and had these guys in the number 1 seed for the last 2. And yet you can't get along with a guy like this. You know, I just think the dude is just a whiner, man. And I just think that he takes his star power and he takes it to some of these platforms because he know people are dying and chomping at the bit to try to talk to him. But to me, man, I just think that this is sucker behavior. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't want to play for the Green Bay Packers, don't play for them. You know what I'm saying? Tell them. Like, it don't take all this. Like, think about this, man. It don't take that long. As greasy as this dude been talking all year for the last 2 seasons since they drafted Jordan Love, he should know what he want to do. So he should not be holding the Green Bay Packers hostage because he knows they're going to hold out as long as he hasn't given them an answer. But I just think that this is sucker behavior. And I mean, I like him as a quarterback. He's talented, but I just think that this sucker behavior, man. Like, I mean, what are your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers? What do you think about him as a quarterback? Because I mean, to me, he good, but I can't take this behavior. I can't.
I mean, he's a good quarterback, but let's not get it misconstrued as a quarterback and a person. I mean, he might be one of the best quarterbacks of all time, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I mean, MVP caliber quarterback and all of that kind of stuff. But he might be like the corner for the famous phrase, he might be a douchebag or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he might be an idiot. I mean, he might just not be a people's person or whatever. That have nothing to do with him being an awesome quarterback or whatever. I mean, he got a lot of players. Hell, I can name Karl Malone. I mean, he's a great basketball player. But from all indications, I mean, he's a word I'm not gonna use on this.
I just call it what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what he is. You know, like it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy to believe that these guys, you know, like I said at the beginning, don't have egos. But you got to have your ego in check, man. And you know, I just think that this dude just loves the attention. I think Charles Barkley said this. You know, Charles Barkley is like, you know, Charles Barkley said that Aaron Rodgers is like a beautiful woman that wants to be told she's beautiful every single day. Like, it's obvious that you're beautiful. You're stunning, right? It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? A very beautiful model or something like that. Like, yeah, she's beautiful. Everybody knows she's beautiful. Do you need to hear that every day? But it seems like to me, he needs his ego stroke every single day. And that right there can become extremely exhausting. It can become exhausting to an organization. If you play alongside this dude, And then I mean, you know his behavior, man. You kind of touched on it, him being, showing douchebag behavior. I mean,
Kind
he
of
doesn't
sound like
really.
he's a diva. That's what it sounds like. I
Yeah,
mean, a lot of them guys they get in the NFL, they might come in as humble, or they
yeah,
might just come in as like you said, asses.
right,
And the money ain't gonna make you more humble. The
yeah.
championships ain't gonna make you more humble. The
Mm-mm.
trophies ain't gonna make you more humble.
No,
And he just turned into more and more, like a diva. You
yeah,
can look at being sidetracked from football for a minute. You
yeah,
remember Freewell, right?
yeah.
Talk
That's
about,
pretty
I think a
well.
team
Yeah,
offered him like $21 million for 3 years,
right,
and he's saying that's not enough to feed his family.
right.
I mean, that's a diva mentality right there, or
Yeah,
like that. And
yeah,
him getting on social media, doing all of this other kind of stuff, making the team wait on their hands and knees and stuff like that.
mm,
For him to come back,
yeah,
that's diva mentality too.
yeah,
So I mean, a lot of players. I mean, I would assume a lot of players probably have some trouble respecting somebody like that, or letting
mm,
somebody like that lead them if
yeah,
they acted like this, you know, during the off season. I mean, you look at the Devontae Adams. This
mm,
is a person that's have to resign this year. Who
right.
you think he's waiting for to see what he does next year? If
No,
Aaron Rodgers isn't with Green Bay, you think he's coming back to Green Bay? Probably
no,
not.
no.
So this is a guy that's watching closely what happens with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, you know, I I have no problem with guys who are sure of themselves. Like if you want a guy on your football team or your basketball team, you want that guy to have like this confidence within himself. You want him to be able to go out there and perform at a high level. You want that guy to go out there and have that mind frame like he's better than everybody else. But you want this guy to be wired. That's why they use the word wired. They want you to be able to turn this on and off. You know what I'm saying? To be as much of a competitor as you possibly can, one hand, but at the same time, be able to interact and keep that thing in check with the other. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, I use this example a lot on other podcasts when I'm talking about the Temptation movie. When you talk about David Ruffin, you know what I'm saying? Like David Ruffin was an incredible singer, an incredible performer. Nobody had no problem with that. When My Girl came out, okay, man, you know what I'm saying? You made us a number one hit. But when you start rolling up in Rolls Royces and hanging out with Fleming them, you know what I'm saying? Like you start to change. And then all of a sudden, like, man, hold on, wait a minute. You showing up late. You know what I'm saying? You want the bar key to read your name and us in the background. Now that's when we start to have a problem here. And this guy, to me, is starting to evolve into that David Ruffin type character where he's like, man, y'all need me. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, and yes, I'm gonna be honest with you. Green Bay, I seen Jordan Love play E. I mean, it's not a good look, bro. It's not a good look. I seen him play against Detroit when the Green Bay Packers was up. They allowed Aaron Rodgers to go a few series. Then they brought Jordan Love out there, and you can see the decline in quarterback play. I can understand that, but you can tell a human being, the type of human being you really are, when somebody actually needs you and you understand that. Because you have people out here, they'll know a team needs them or they'll know a person needs them and they'll use it to their advantage. And you know what I'm saying? Like they will continue to push and push and push because they know that team or that person, that individual, that thing can do absolutely nothing about it. And I just don't like that, man. Like just come up with something. Like if you don't want to be there, fine. You want to test the waters, fine. You want to go and play for another team, fine. But do not have these guys out here like holding on to hope when you know that you already out the door. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, true. That
Yeah.
is true. I
But
mean, you do not want like I said, you got Devontae Adams. You probably got some more free agents on the team
right.
waiting for Aaron Rodgers, and you just know that Jordan Love pretty much, he's gonna struggle or whatever because
Yeah.
he didn't get a lot of reps. He hadn't played a lot of games and everything, but yeah, you don't want to hold the whole team or whole franchise hostage because you don't really know what you want to do.
Right.
Hopefully, he knows what he wants to do before free agency and all that kind of stuff.
Man, he knows what he wants to do. That's the biggest problem I have.
I agree with that. He does. I
That's
think he
what
does
makes him
know
a
what he wants to
douchebag.
do.
That's what makes him a douchebag, like you just alluded to. When you know what you're gonna do, but you're just gonna hold out and wait and be like, okay, man, I'm just gonna wait till the last minute. like if I'm Green Bay, man, I'm looking. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at some of these quarterbacks that are performing at the combine. All right, that's what I'm doing, man. I'm looking at some of these other guys and see if I can aggressively move up or something like that in order to maybe draft one of these guys. Because to me, I don't think Jordan Love is the answer. I mean, you got 2 years of a sample size on this dude, and I don't think it's panning out, man. I really just don't. But gonna switch gears, man. We're gonna talk about the NFL Combine. I mean, it's been exciting so far, man. The one thing that stands out, it has to be the wide receiver position, man. I have never seen, man, these guys are some burners out there, man. These boys are chopping. You hear me? Like these guys are chopping. Like I've never seen like 40-yard dashes ran the way they are at the wide receiver position. We had the running backs and offensive linemen. They performed today. If you're listening to this on a Friday. But let's go back a little bit because there's a couple of guys that actually stood out in the combine. I'll start with you, man. Judging by the combine, some of the activities are still going on right now, wrapping up. But who stood out to you during the NFL combine? I mean, what player stood out and did themselves a service by having a good performance?
First of all, I want to just say this: the wide receivers. They said this is the fastest group of wide receivers in combine history. That is saying something right there.
Yeah,
10 wide receivers have a speed of lower than a 4.5 and a 40.
That's
so the fastest dude, we just talked about it before, Tyreek Thornton, dude from Baylor, ran with a 4.21. They expanded to a 4.28, but still, I mean that's still pretty fast. That's up there at like one of the fastest of all times. He didn't break the record, but still. But as far as people who kind of impressed wide receivers and quarterback, we was talking about this also. Malik Willis, dude out of Liberty, quarterback. He was letting that thing go. I mean, he looked the part, about 6'2", 6'3". He was throwing that thing about 70 yards. He had a drill where he had to throw the ball over the receiver's shoulder so he can catch it over his head or whatever. And he was letting that thing rip. I mean, he looked pretty good throwing the ball and everything. Granted, these dudes not reading defenses. They ain't got 300-pound nose tackles or defensive ends running at them. But, I mean, the ball looked good coming out of his hand. They always talk about how the ball got to explode out the hand. It was. I mean, he was throwing that thing look like a young Randall Cunningham out there.
Oh, yeah. He looked good, man.
And then you have Chris Olave, dude from out of Ohio State.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people kind of already had him as a first-round pick. I think he ran like a 4.25 or something. A 4.35 or something like that. So I think he's faster than a lot of people gave him credit for, but I still think he's going to be a first-round pick.
Yeah.
That's probably the two that kind of stood out to me. I mean, a lot of people already knew about Willis. A lot of people already knew about Olave too.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the two people from the day that kind of stood out.
Yeah. I think a person that stood out to me throughout the combine, you already mentioned him, Tyquan Thornton, out of Baylor. I think there was a lot of unanswered questions about him because they know he had a good vertical leap and they know he can get those contested catches. So his speed, and here's another thing, man. You mentioned this, E. Why the hell don't they just allow these guys to run twice, right? Why is there unofficial and official? Like,
I don't know. Maybe like a practice or something like that. I don't know. That's kind of fast for it to just be an unofficial.
Yes, because
take my unofficial, make that official. Shoot.
Yeah, that's my point. That's my whole point. Why don't they allow these guys to run it twice? Because here's the thing. You're so pumped up on adrenaline. You're thinking about it all day, about how you're going to perform. And that one time, that first time, more times than not, you're going out there and you're probably going to give your best time because the adrenaline is high. You're excited about it. You want to put forward a great performance. And you go out there that first time and you go out there and really put up some really good numbers. And then the second time, after everybody sung your praises and you went back and you looked on Twitter and everybody gassing you up, now you got to go out there and run it again. Why don't they allow these guys to do this twice, right? Let them do it twice. And you run a 40 twice, whatever is the best score, that's your official score, period. Like, let's do it like that because I have yet to see a guy run the 40 the first time, and the second time they run it, they have a faster time than the first time. I haven't seen that. Now I've seen some guys run it twice, and they're probably a second off or right on the nose twice, but I've never seen guys, you know what I'm saying, like just absolutely like blow it out the water the first time and then second time running the same exact thing, you know what I'm saying, or it's always like seconds off. And I just think that that's a waste of time. Give these guys 2 opportunities to do this, because here's the thing, you can say official, unofficial, all you want to. Now in the realms of the NFL, they're going to be like, man, here's what he ran, a 4.36. But you can't, like, if you're in the stands, you're a coach, right? You're a scout. You looking in the stand, you got your binoculars, you know what I'm saying, and you looking down on the field, and you see a guy unofficially run a 4.21. What's going to be in your head? Well, they say he ran a 4.3 the second time. No. That 4.21 is going to be stuck in your head, rather it's official or not. So give these guys opportunities to run that joint twice. That's all I'm saying. But I wanted to say that before, the good that I seen was pretty obvious, man. Chris Olave to me confirmed it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he's the best wide receiver that a team can get. Now, I understand that Garrett Wilson did, better statistically than he did in 2021. But I still feel, just like with Smith, you know what I'm saying? When Smith was at Ohio State and Michael Thomas was alongside him, Smith had the numbers, but Michael Thomas was consistent. And now you look at it now, there were 4 wide receivers that were drafted before Michael Thomas, right? And if you look back, Michael Thomas is better than all of those guys. I just feel like the numbers don't always equate to the success that you're going to have on the next level. And you have to look at a guy's fundamentals and their abilities. 40 times don't mean absolutely nothing to me. Now, it can confirm that, you know what I'm saying, if the dude catch the ball, he's going to break away from a guy. But I'm more concerned about the fundamentals. I'm more concerned about the route running, the pass catching, those type of abilities. So Chris Olave to me didn't surprise me, but his speed did. Another person that kind of surprised me, I have to say Sam Howell. Sam Howell was decent. You know what I'm saying? Threw a better deep ball than I thought he was going to throw. You know what I'm saying? I thought that he was going to, you know what I'm saying? I thought that maybe, that was going to be, there's a little bit of his shortcoming, but he's proven, that he can actually sling that thing. So I think it kind of helped his purpose, especially when you have like guys like Malik Willis, who they've been talking about as the guy with the most upside. And then you also have Kenny Pickett, another guy who is consistent, been in college football for quite some time, played in a lot of big games. So I think Sam Howell is a guy that stood out to me, as well as Chris Olave, and Tyquan Thornton is another guy that stood out to me, no doubt about that. I'm looking forward to what these running backs and offensive linemen can do after, at the end. I mean, there's a couple guys, I'm shocked. I don't know if you've seen this or not, but the running backs, you haven't seen too many blazing running backs in this class, man. It's a lot of guys averaging 4.4s and 4.5s. You think that at the running back position, man, you'll see at least a guy run a 4.2, 4.3. What do you think about this running back class, and what does that say about this class?
This running back class, in my opinion, I don't think it's the strongest one. No. I think you might have some later round running backs. Maybe they go past. You won't have a second round running back, I don't think. I don't think you might have maybe 5 or 6 running backs drafted in this draft, to be honest with you. I mean, it's not the strongest draft for running backs. I think this draft is all about the lines, pretty much, offensive line and defensive line.
Right.
I think they got a lot of depth on offense and defense, in particular, wide receivers, offensive line, defensive line, cornerbacks. You can see a lot of those guys taken. I mean, this draft isn't strong in quarterback, running backs. Those are the 2 areas I don't think this draft is too strong. I mean, you got Breece Hall.
Yeah.
What else you have? You got the running back from Texas A&M. I forget the guy's name.
Isaiah. I got the list right here for you.
Yeah, Spiller.
Isaiah Spiller. We also got this was very shocking to me. Brian Robinson Jr. Out of Alabama. Now, good campaign that he had, like late in the season with Alabama, but He ran a 4.6. He ran a 4.6. Now, I don't really put too much stock in there with the running back sometimes because especially like the style of running that he is, man, you look at his, you know what I'm saying? Like, but the thing about it is he's going to have to beef up because right now he's 194 pounds. You cannot be running a 4.6 at 194 pounds and expecting you to be able to make the field, man. That's going to be tough.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I've never seen somebody that light. And first of all, I thought Brian Robinson was like around 220.
Yeah.
And I didn't think he was around 190 or something.
My apologies. He actually is, man. 6'2", 225. So my bad. Yeah. I was actually looking at Kyron Williams out of Notre Dame. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he's 6'2", he's about 225 pounds. I apologize for that. So he did run a 4.6. Thinking back now on the size, I think teams might give him a chance. Especially, you know what I'm saying? He ran at Alabama. So, you know, they're always going to give you opportunity, your Alabama running back. So they're going to give you opportunity just based on that alone. But you mentioned, you know what I'm saying, the running back position is a devalued position. It's expendable. Teams don't look at it like they used to of the days of the Emmitt Smiths and the Thurman Thomas and you know what I'm saying, the Barry Sanders. Like they don't look at that. Like they don't go into the NFL looking for running backs anymore because the running back position, you feel like, okay, if a guy's 6'2", 225, let's open up these holes. As long as he find a hole, lean forward for a couple of yards, we straight. Because we know that the game has evolved to a passing game. So I do understand that. But at the same time, man, you expect at least a few of these guys to be some burners. I ain't see no burners out there, man.
Nope.
I didn't see any burners.
I mean, the NFL has changed. I mean, running backs, they're utility backs. Mm-hmm. If you're a running back, if you're going to play running back in the NFL today, if you can't catch the ball, you ain't playing. That's straight up. I don't care how fast you is. If you can't catch the ball out the backfield, I mean, if you got two left hands, I mean, you ain't playing. That's straight up. If you can't pick up at least a block, you ain't playing. So, I mean, they're not, unless you play for the 49ers or the Titans. A lot of people not running between, you know, they're not running between the tackles. A lot of teams, they do zone blocking, like the Rams, they do zone blocking, but they running game really ain't nothing to, you know, hoop and holler about. But like I said, unless you're playing for the 49ers or the Titans, those the only run-heavy teams that I see in the NFL. But like I said, if you're a running back, and if you can't catch the ball out the backfield, you ain't going to make no money. You can be on special teams somewhere. So, I mean, like I said, this is kind of a weak draft for running backs. Gone are the days where they built the teams around running backs. The last two people that had a team built around them was Derrick Henry and Adrian Peterson. You see what Adrian Peterson at now. You see what Derrick Henry going through. So, I mean, this is the first time he's been hurt. But, I mean, for the most part, it's been working for him. But I don't see where the NFL would go back to building teams around running backs like ever again. And like you said, they do devalue. I don't think they're giving them the value that they deserve. They're getting around 27, 28 years old. They looking for another running back pretty much. I mean, you have a Nick Chubbs. I mean, you have some pretty good running. Alvin Kamara.
Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor. So you got kind of some of those old school running back. But all of those guys can catch out of the backfield. I mean, you got to be multidimensional when it comes to, you know, being a running back nowadays. You ain't just going to get the ball running 30, 35 times. You ain't going to catch the ball out of the backfield. You're going to catch it.
And that's what teams want. Like, in order for you to really be a first-round pick in the NFL draft as a running back, you got to be able to never leave the field. I mean, it's just that simple. You got to have the ability to run in between the tackles and catch that ball on third down. If they feel like, you know, you're like, you know how it used to be. You used to have like a thunder and lightning type combination, right? You had a guy, I mentioned this before. You had for the Giants, you had Amari Bradshaw, who was your guy who catch the ball, right, on third downs. And then you had Brandon Jacobs, who was your sledgehammer. You know, if you're not a guy who never leaves the field at the running back positions, I don't think teams are going to invest in you in the first round. They can get you in the second round. Or, you know what I'm saying, they feel like maybe, just maybe, you know, you can, you know, man, become an undrafted free agent. And they could probably get some production out of a guy like that. So, to me, the way I see it, like, you gotta be able to never leave the field to be running back and get drafted in the first round. But I was looking at this draft class. But before we get to it, let's read some of the comments that we have. This is Mark. He says the Pelicans about to win their 4th game in a row. How's Nole basketball town now? You down there, man. You know the pulse of the city, man. You see what's going on. 4-game winning streak for the Pels. What are your thoughts on that, man?
I mean, I think that's great. Ever since McCullough came to the city, I think that kind of changed the chemistry with the city. So I mean, you got a lot of people that's getting playing time and everything. Yeah. No Zion Williamson, of course. We were just talking about him before.
Mm-hmm.
I just wonder how the chemistry gonna be if and when he gets back. But
hey, E, your mic went down low. Your mic went low, man.
I'm sorry.
No, you.
But good. Yeah, man. The Pelicans trying to make the playoffs. They trying to at least make this playing game or whatever. I mean, they trying to get in there. You seen what they did, how they dismantled the Lakers. So I mean, they got some good players on this team.
I would have been surprised to be excited about that if I didn't see the Lakers just wet the bed game after game. That's a bad basketball team.
Yeah,
right
currently they playing like with no heart, no spirit,
none,
no gusto, so to speak.
E, there's a video out right now on Twitter, and there is LeBron James like not hustling at all. Like I think a player threw up a ball and it hit the rim, and he was right underneath the rim, and didn't even jump for the rebound. I mean, look, I know people love LeBron James, but that was one of the things that people are going to talk about when they question his greatness. Now, I just think that it's asinine that you talk and compare this guy like with a guy like Michael Jordan who played in the 90s. That's a completely different game. But I do feel like when you do stuff like that, it gives people ammunition to talk about you and say, you ain't leaving it all on the court. Like, man, I don't see a guy like Kobe Bryant doing anything like that. I can't see a guy like Shaq doing anything like that, no matter what the circumstances are, man. Like, you got to show leadership. You can't be whining and boo-hooing and when you ain't getting your way. Like this sense of entitlement that I see in modern day basketball players that I just can't get down with. Everybody wants to go to the park with their homeboys and run the table, right? Nobody wants to go out there and be like, man, I got winners and play with a bunch of random guys. You want to go out there with your homeboys, play screen, and then run up the court and then leave at the same time and talk about how you beat the everybody on the park. Like nobody wants to challenge themselves. Like nobody wants to try to overcome any type of adversity, any signs of adversity at all. You got guys wanting to leave and go to greener pastures. And that's what kind of makes me sour about the NBA. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so hella casual when it comes to NBA basketball. Like, I know what's going on. Like, I watch it enough to know what's going on and standings and stuff like that. But what I just can't stand is this sense of entitlement by a lot of these young basketball players today. Like, these guys they care more about how they walk to the arena in these weird ass clothes than they do about playing a game of basketball. I mean, I'm just being dead serious, bro. And that's what really turns a lot of people off from watching the NBA. I mean, what are your thoughts on that, man? What do you think about the pulse in the NBA? I mean, you watched a lot of NBA, man, in your lifetime. You watched a lot of NBA finals, man. I remember sitting on the floor in our living room watching some of those games, man. And what are your thoughts about this modern day NBA?
I mean, you're right about a lot of that. I mean, you have players that do care about the NBA, care about the craft, care about working hard, trying to get better. And then you do have the players you can kind of tell that they, work their behind off to get to the NBA, and then they just, take that deep breath, like I made it and everything. They care more about the payoff than the playoff. Like what I be saying or whatever. I mean, but I mean, the NBA different. If you think the NBA is the same from the 80s, 90s to now, you're mistaken. I mean, them guys actually did play, and they played hard. And when you went to the line and you actually got fouled, they fouled the hell out of you. I mean,
Right.
you could see before. I actually remember this before Jordan started winning those finals and all of this other kind of stuff.
Right.
The Pistons used to beat the hell out of the Bulls. I mean, I don't know if anybody who listening remember this, but man, if he went through that lane against Bill Laimbeer and Dennis Rodman and them,
Right.
I mean, you got beat down pretty much. I mean, then you had the Knicks to go through. You had the Cavaliers. So, I mean, you had to pay a toll if you was going down that lane. I mean, boy playing prison ball out there or whatever.
Right.
But but now, I mean, the game just softer. Everybody want to do a Euro step. Everybody want to do a step back three. Nobody really play defense. James Harden made a career out of not playing defense.
Right.
And most of the league kind of the same way.
Yep.
I mean, no defense. Nobody seemed to really care about. If you've seen the All-Star game this year, oh my goodness.
I didn't watch it, man. I
No
didn't.
defense. I mean, you do not even running down the field. I mean, they just throwing the alleys every which way, and they tried and stuff like that. I mean, like little effort. I mean, everybody was trying to put on a show.
Yep.
But it's different. It's just different.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like nobody, really truly cares. Let's see. Lavelle said these guys don't play with no care for the game besides a few guys. I agree with that. Man, we had 2 minutes of Pels talk, and that bad boy went straight to the Lakers and general NBA talk. I won't make everything perfectly clear. I know a lot of people came over from the State of the Saints podcast, but this isn't going to be a Louisiana sports show. Like, I'm just being serious. Like, that's what I got the State of the Saints for. That's why I got like all the other stuff that focus on that. I mean, we want to generalize this thing, like we're going to be talking sports. I'm happy for the Pelicans. I'm happy they won 4 games. I'm excited about that. As being a native of New Orleans, you know what I'm saying? I'm always rooting for everything New Orleans. But, I mean, man, they got other sports that, you know what I'm saying, that I want to talk about. Now, what Brian just asked, you know what I'm saying, they're on a 4-game winning streak. I'm happy. Golf clap. I'm happy. I hope they get the play in. But I mean, look, we talking about the NBA, man, because look, the Pelicans, if they get the play in, they're gonna have to play some of these teams, man. And like I said, man, I just question a lot of these guys hard. And I mean, even guys like Zion, like I question, like how hurt is he? You know what I'm saying? Like, is he like really doing everything he can to try to come back? Is he really like buying into some of the stuff that they're saying? I know Antonio Daniels came out and talked about him and said that, this guy is young. He's 21 years old. He's, he's still learning. And this guy was at the prime a couple of years ago. All true. But at the same time, man, like your team needs you. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to be out there, man. If you can, then go for it. If you're not, then don't allow outside forces to draw this map about places that you need to be playing at. That's why I got a problem with small markets. You know what I'm saying? Not getting the attention from the mass sports media because they don't want to come to towns like New Orleans. They don't want to come to towns like Milwaukee. They don't want to come to some of these Midwestern towns where, basketball is everything. And they want to go to where it's high profile. And they want these big stars to go to these big towns. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that's why one thing I was happy about Milwaukee winning the finals last year, because it showed that you didn't have to go play for a big market to bring a championship to a city. And to me, the city of Milwaukee, that meant so much to those folks. Then, like Los Angeles or like, New York, where if you win a championship and you don't win one the next year, then you're a bunch of bums and scrubs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, do you feel that way? Do you feel like there's like this attack on mid-market teams?
I do, because we talk about basketball and everything, but at the end of the day, it's about this. It's about, can you make that money?
Yep,
and they feel like in these big market teams they can make that money.
Yeah.
Why I worked in Milwaukee was because, I mean, you got stars that really don't care about that kind of stuff. I mean, you got Chris Middleton. I mean, he don't say too much. I mean, so he don't seem like he have a big ego. I mean, you got Giannis. I mean, the Greek freak. I mean, he was born in Greece. So I mean, that really don't matter to him.
Yeah.
And you got Bobby Portis. I mean, you got a lot of these guys who really don't care about that kind of stuff.
Nope.
I mean, the fact of the matter is this: the money's green. What are you playing? Milwaukee, Oklahoma City, New York, LA, Chicago, Boston,
Yep.
Sacramento. I mean, no matter where you play it, the tax might be different.
Yeah.
But I mean, you still making money. So why not bring a championship to a championship star, state like Milwaukee or whatever? And them fans was out there.
Yep. This man was
Same
at
thing with
Chick-fil-A.
Toronto. I mean, Toronto's the whole country, but that's the places that should have championship teams. The places that the fans really care about them or whatever.
Yeah, man. I mean, people are spending their hard-earned money to go to these games.
Yep.
You know, it's not like how it is in these big markets, man. Like these dudes kind of want to come to the game. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not everything to them. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these big market areas, man, these people are so damn superficial, man. Like they just want to ride the wave of anything that's hot. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I expect Rams games to be hot. You know what I'm saying? Like they want to latch on to something that is considered a winner. You know what I'm saying? Because they want to feel that way. But in some of these smaller markets, they care so passionately about their squad. You know what I'm saying? And when they win, it means so much. It means like one championship means 1,000. You know what I'm saying? Because they and even if you don't make it to the championship, they right there next year with that same level of enthusiasm. Yep. You don't get that in big markets, man. Everybody is so like quick to give up, like quick to try to find solutions, even if it's like minor adjustments that need to be made. And I just feel like that is something that small markets do. They're willing to give teams opportunity to get it right, and they still gonna be cheering in the process. Man. But I want to talk a little bit about some of these guys in the draft, right? You know, I mean, I got a list. This is the NFL mock draft that I had. I mean, this was courtesy of Bucky Brooks. Man, shouts out to Bucky Brooks, man. Does a really good job over there at the NFL Network. Been scouting for a very long time. As I pull it up on my phone here, they had like a couple guys, you know, that were in the draft, you know, that you know, in the top 10. Pretty much everybody pretty much assumed. Like for the Jaguars, Bucky Brooks has Evan Neal, the offensive tackle out of Alabama, going number 1. Number 2, he has Aiden Hutchinson going to the Lions. Number 3, he has Malik Willis going to the Carolina Panthers. Number 4, he has Kyle Hamilton, the safety out of Notre Dame, going to the Jets. And then he got Ike Onwenu out of NC State, offensive tackle, going to the Giants. So we'll start up with these 5 right here. Pretty much 1 and 2, pretty much a given. Evan Neal, offensive tackle out of Alabama. I'm pretty sure you've seen him play quite a bit. You're a big SEC fan watching, you know what I'm saying, SEC football. Do you think that he deserves number 1 going to the Jaguars, or do you feel like a guy like Aiden Hutchinson would be able to help a guy like Trevor Lawrence, you know, on the opposite side of football?
I haven't put my mock draft together, but I think Aiden Hutchinson, I think he's probably gonna be the first in my mock draft. He'll be the first one taken. Yeah. But if Evan Neal does become the first draft pick taken, he would be, from what I understand, the first Alabama Crimson Tide to be taken first overall in the NFL draft. Now, I have to go back and actually look at that, but I was shocked as hell when I heard that. But
I mean, that's insane.
But the Jaguars, I mean, they have a quarterback. You know, they got Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, their running back. So what could they draft that actually be valuable to them other than a tackle? You know, you still got Cam Robinson. Yep. But would it be Neal? Would it be the guy from NC State? Would it be Aiden Hutchinson? I do think it'd probably be Aiden Hutchinson, even though they do need weapons on offense.
Right.
They do need to still build their offensive line. But I think it'd be Aiden Hutchinson, the first overall pick. Yeah. Defensive end out of Michigan. I mean, if you watch that Ohio State game, this guy cannot be blocked. He kind of reminds me of Jared Allen. The old guy from the Chiefs in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Got like a never-ending motor that just keeps on going pretty much.
Yeah.
I think he's probably going to be a star in the NFL. So I think it'll probably be him instead of Evan Neal. I do think the Lions could probably use a guy like Evan Neal. To be honest with you, just a matter of what Dan Campbell wants to draft him. But Evan Neal, he could be dominant as a tackle. I mean, maybe he could be moved to maybe guard down the road, but I do think he could be dominant as a tackle. I mean, he plays for Alabama. They just turns out offensive lineman every year. I mean, I can run the list now to you, but usually they win Outland trophies. They win, Remington trophies and everything. All kind of trophies. You know what I mean? Everybody knows about Alabama.
Yep.
So I do think this guy, he's going to be a top 5 pick, but I just don't think the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to get him.
Yeah. I mean, I look at a guy like Aiden Hutchinson. I look at a guy like that. You put him opposite of Josh Allen, who has had a really good season. I mean, it'd be a good complimentary. You can have yourself a Dwight Freeney, Robert Mathis type combination thing going. You know what I'm saying? Pass rush on both sides. That can definitely help out a guy like Trevor Lawrence. But at the same time, you got to keep him upright, man. You got to be able to keep him strong in the pocket and be able to make the throws that needs to be made. So a guy like Evan Neal going there as the top pick overall, I mean, they got a guy like Doug Peterson as their head coach because they want to build up Trevor Lawrence's confidence that he probably lost this past season in his rookie campaign. I mean, there were a lot of whispers about his drive, his determination before he even was drafted by Jacksonville. So you don't want to kill his confidence by not, investing in him on that side of the ball. Give him the protection that he needs. He has a familiar guy back there in Travis Etienne that can run the ball, catch the ball also. You maybe get another guy that you can combine back there in the running game. And, you get some weapons around him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get some of these guys back, a draft a guy or get a guy at free agency, but you build around him to let him know that we're fully invested in you and give him all of the things that he needs in order for him to be successful. So this guy's the franchise player, E. So if this was like a Blake Bortles, you know what I'm saying? Or if this was like Jared Goff or something like that, then I really feel like they would get Aiden Hutchinson. But I think that the role now is let's invest in this guy. You know what I'm saying? Let's let them know that we're all in on him. We're going to try to do everything we can. So Evan Neal would be it. Aiden Hutchinson to the Lions, I think that would be a good look, but wouldn't surprise me either if these guys went out here and got a guy like Malik Willis. You know what I'm saying? Like if they were to get him. Look, Jared Goff, he's not going to lose you a lot of games, but he ain't going to win you no games either. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he can go out there, he can make some throws. I've seen some late game heroics with Detroit, but I'm just not fully sold on this dude, man. Like,
in fairness to Jared Goff, Detroit got to put some weapons around this dude for real. I mean, you got Hawkinson. That's it.
I mean, you got St. Brown St. Brown had a good season though.
Yeah, he was coming along and everything, but I mean, but nobody coming into nobody was expecting the Detroit Lions. Like as far as like the talent they had on offense. Yeah, they got DeAndre Swift. Right. He was kind of hurt. I mean, you got Williams, the dude that played for the Packers last year.
Right.
He kind of came along. Maybe just because that was their first time, playing all together. But I still think they're gonna need they need a receiver that people fear going up against. So I don't know if they're gonna need to get Drake London from USC out of the draft. I doubt if they get him that high or draft another quarter. I don't see them getting a wide receiver at number 2. And I really don't see that. Yeah. So, I mean, a draft board, like you said, they got Aiden Hutchinson, they got Neal, they got the guy from NC State. Then they got some other Willis. They got Kenny Pickett. So I don't know from that bunch who you choose. I mean, do you get offensive lineman? Because I do know Lawrence, he was getting beat up last year with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
And Jared Goff, like I said, St. Brown, he was kind of coming alive. And you do have Hawkinson, who I still think is I think he's a pretty good tight end. Yeah. But I do think they need help on offense and defense. I mean, if they had multiple draft picks, that'll really help.
All right. But I'm just saying, E, based on what you've seen out of Malik Willis, the combine that this guy had, the 40, the deep passes down the field, making the throws that need to get made, throwing on the run. And then you add that with a decent pro day if he has a pro day. You know, if he has like an individual workout, you're telling me that at the Detroit Lions, you don't think that those guys would look at this dude and be like, man, maybe we need to think about getting this dude, because you don't want to be the Bears. You don't want to be the Bears when you had an opportunity to get Deshaun Watson and you got Mitchell Trubisky. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right about that.
I do not want to like look back at history and be like, man, I had it right here in the palm of my hand and I squandered it. You know, so I just think, man, how can you pass this dude up based on what this dude did at, at the combine? Everybody's saying this dude has more upside than even a guy like Kenny Pickett and Sam Howell. How do you pass up on this? I mean, you're the freaking Lions, for God's sakes. No disrespect to Lions fans that's probably watching this, but you're the freaking Lions. And, it's not like you got like this gold standard or whatever. Like, well, oh, man, we're the Lions and we doing it this way. If this dude is here, you have this dude compete with Jared Goff. If he's good enough and he beats out Jared Goff this season, then you get him go out there and play, okay? If he doesn't, then he'll sit on the bench, develop, and by that time, I'm pretty sure Jared Goff played his way out. You can probably get some draft capital for it because I think he's still going to be on contract, or you release him to save some money. Sounds like a win-win situation to me. I just think that it's tough.
Here's the question, though. Do you get him at number 2, or do you trade down and get him say like at number 8, 9, 10, or something like that? Because at number 2, do you think that's too valuable to get somebody like a Malik Willis at the number 2 pick in the draft? Do you think that's too valuable to get him?
No,
like
because
too high of a pick.
No,
like
I don't.
Okay.
No, I don't, E, because this is the quarterback position we're talking about here. If we were talking about like a pass rush, offensive lineman even, you know what I'm saying? Unless he's like a generational talent. Like Aiden Hutchinson is good, but I don't think he's going to be a generational talent. I don't think he's going to be like the Bosa brothers or anybody like that. I think he's going to be decent. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, he's a little bit, to me, he's a more skilled Trey Hendrickson. That's who he remind me of. He has like the, you know what I'm saying? He has like this weird country boy strong power. You know what I'm saying? He can move you around and he has a little bit more wiggle. I don't think that that's generational talent. But the quarterback position, you get that quarterback, bro. You get that dude. This dude gonna bring the fans in. This dude gonna bring free agency in. Think about how many guys were willing to go out there and play in the cold because Aaron Rodgers is there. They're willing to go out there and play in the rain in Seattle because Russell Wilson is there. You get the right quarterback, no matter what your circumstances are. I mean, look at Tampa. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody want to play in Tampa. You know what I'm saying? Like, when Tom Brady went there, okay, let me get this dude. Let me go out there to Tampa. If you get the right guy, he shows flashes, he shows promise, it's going to bring in guys, and you're going to start to win. Because free agents, coaches, all alike are going to believe in that guy. So I do feel that if it's a quarterback and he has a certain skill set, I don't think you pass that up, even if that means looking stupid on draft day by not drafting a guy like Aiden Hutchinson. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm just being real, because here's the thing. At 3, Carolina Panthers, right? Carolina Panthers, I'm pretty sure, look, they need a quarterback.
Yeah, they're looking for a quarterback, and Malik Willis is kind of like right in their backyard. Exactly. I mean, dude, he went to school in Virginia. Carolina is North Carolina.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they bordering states.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, yeah, it is another school. This could be in the Malik Willis, Kenny Pickett sweepstakes, so to speak, I guess.
Yep.
But if you're getting them at a number 2 or a number 3 pick, I mean, I would think that would be pressure for you to play this dude like right now.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's taking them that high Yeah, you have Jared Goff, but do you wait for Jared Goff to make a mistake or make too many mistakes? Then you put this dude in.
Oh
But
no.
then if you do that, you kind of throwing him into the fire pretty much.
Yeah. I get it. You know what I'm saying? There's pros and cons to all these situations, you know. I'm gonna go to six. I'm gonna go to 6 through 10, but we're gonna answer a few of these questions. Damian says, "Hey TJ and EJ, do y'all think it's a must to sign Marcus Williams, or is it possible we can fill that spot with a veteran or rookie and letting him go, especially with the top-notch vets we have on defense?" So this is a Saints question. You know, I know like I said, we posting live on the State of the Saints podcast right now too. You know, but this mostly Crescent City connection. I answer the question about Marcus Williams. Look, do I think the New Orleans Saints need to re-sign Marcus Williams? Yes, they better sign him, because if they don't, then he's gonna go somewhere else. Like, no matter what you may think about Marcus Williams, if you're a Saints fan, like this dude has a huge market, and as a safety, he's the top safety. You know what I'm saying, ranked out there right now. So to me, look, I'm not playing on no more franchise tags, bro. Like, seriously, I ain't playing on no more franchise tags. You're gonna have to sign me. I was quiet as a church mouse when I played for $10 million on the tag this year. Like, I really put my livelihood on the line because somebody roll over my ankle, tear my ACL. It's gonna mess with my money. So the Saints need to pay this dude. They need to pay him, man. Like, if they don't, then somebody else will. I mean, they got a lot of teams out there that's looking for a guy that can be a ball hawk. You know what I'm saying? A guy that's smart. They better pay this dude. Like, they better pay him. What are your thoughts on Marcus Williams, man?
I can tell you right now, if the Saints don't pay Marcus Williams, he's gonna leave New Orleans. This man gonna get north of 30, 40, possibly $50 million right now.
Yep.
5, 6 year, 40, $50 million. You know, people might laugh at me for saying that, but you gotta think about it. This dude is like what, 25, 26 years old,
Young, man.
right around there.
Young.
So somebody's gonna pay him.
Yep.
And that somebody might be a playoff team. It don't matter who it is. Most likely it'll probably be a playoff team or whatever. But somebody gonna throw 4, 5, 6 year contract at this dude, similar to what they did with Henderson, similar to what they did with him. And the Saints gonna have to go get somebody out the draft. But I think that's probably the number one priority they need to try to figure out. I know they have Armstead. It's probably gonna be I think he may walk. I think injuries and everything. I think they just gonna have to maybe draft another tackle, but to cut money and due to his injuries, I think he may walk. But Marcus Williams, he should be a number one priority for these boys. I mean, they should try to start working on that right now. They shouldn't even let that boy take a call doing free agents. Because somebody gonna throw a whole lot of money at him.
I'm calling my shot right now. If the Saints don't sign him, he going to the Raiders. I'm calling it right now. If the Saints don't sign him, he going to the Raiders. I just think that when you look at the Raiders, they secondary. I like Jonathan Abram, but he always hurt. You know, like this dude, the Raiders got the money. It's a nice little market. You know what I'm saying? He from the West Coast. He was born and raised out there in California. So he'll be closer to home. He's a West Coast kid. Watch that dude end up going to the Raiders. I'll be hot if the Saints don't sign, but the Saints would be insane, in my opinion, if they didn't sign him. Derek says if he turned to Russell Wilson, no is not a waste. I guess we're talking about Malik Willis here, but we do have to talk about Russell Wilson. He was one of the topics of conversation. So we're gonna segue into that. Russell Wilson has been having issues with the Seattle Seahawks over the past couple of years. He goes on a Dan Patrick show. I think it was Dan Patrick or Rich Eisen. I want to say Dan Patrick last year. And he was very upset, about, them not really building anything around him, not building the offensive line, not really making it his team. So they had some whispers, man. They kind of calmed down a little bit. They got it together. But Pete Carroll comes out and says that he wants Russell Wilson back in Seattle. He comes out there and say that. Now, just because he says it does not mean that it's going to happen. Do you see Russell Wilson playing for the Seattle Seahawks in 2022?
No. I mean, it might be a surprise, but I don't. And he's right. They haven't really been building towards building the team around. Yeah, you got a DK Metcalf. He wasn't a first round pick. Yeah. Nobody could foresee him turning into the damn Decepticon that he came into. I mean, nobody's seen that. Yeah. 6'3", 6'4", about 230, running like a gazelle or whatever. Nobody's seen that. I mean, they don't really have a running back. They don't have an offensive line. They don't have a defensive line. Yeah. Boy, the Seattle team is a lot different from what they was, say, 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah. When they was the best defense in the league. Mm-hmm. They get the ball, they use time of possession. Then the defense will come in and just lower the hammer down on you. Mm-hmm. I mean, now it's just him and DK Metcalf pretty much.
That's it.
So they haven't really been building around this guy, whatever. And for his troubles, he been getting the hell beat out of them pretty much last year. I mean, he took a lot of sacks. I mean, he missed some games. I mean, I want to say he missed like 4 or 5 games if I'm not mistaken. When the last time Russell Wilson was hurt?
Yeah.
So I mean, that's how you know this is a different Seattle Seahawks team. I don't see them making the playoffs this year. Yeah. Like, what have they done to make the playoffs this year? I know the draft it hasn't come around yet, but we have to see what they do in free agency. I mean, but I don't think he's going to be. I don't think you're going to see Russell Wilson in Seattle. Yeah. I think you may see him in. I know he probably say he's not going to the Commanders, but I don't know. I mean, but I'm sure there's some teams, Houston, potentially probably could use him. I mean, yeah, you probably see the last of Deshaun Watson in Houston, so Houston might be a destination for him.
Yeah.
There's some other places. Hell, Miami. You think they'll take Russell Wilson over Tua Tagovailoa? I think so. That's another destination that you might see. So, never know.
I would say not Miami because I feel like that's why Mike McDaniel is there. You know, they feel like, you know, he can, you know, fix, quote unquote, Tua Tagovailoa. You know, but there are a lot of teams that I can see him going to. I can see him, you know, playing. You know, I can see him playing for the 49ers. Hell, it would hurt me as a Saints fan, but I can see him playing for Tampa. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can see him playing for the Buccaneers. Look, the thing about it is, I think what he wants is he wants to go to a high-profile team or a team that is offensively driven, that are going to do some of the things that can help him, you know, become better. You know what I'm saying? In the twilight of his career. So to me, I think that a guy like him wants to go somewhere where it's pretty high profile. You know, if it's high profile, I think he wants to go there. I don't think that, you know, he'll probably end up going somewhere like the Saints or anything like that. You know, me personally, I don't think that's going to happen because I think that the loss of Sean Payton would kind of, you know, sway him to go somewhere else. You know, but I do feel like there are some teams out there like the 49ers, like the Bucks. I don't want to say the Giants because I just think that they signed their new head coach kind of to put emphasis on developing and helping you know, Jones. So, yeah, so I don't see that. But yeah, the Seattle Seahawks, to me, never really had a good offensive line. Even when they were going to Super Bowls, when they had a really good defense. I mean, you really didn't pay attention to it because they had basically the second coming of Ironhead Haywood out there. Bam Morris, Jerome Bettis, and Marshawn Lynch. You know what I'm saying? Well, he can just take a licking and keep on ticking, as they say. You know, like he can break all those tackles. So if you give this boy what they say, 3 inches of daylight or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm straight. You know, and if I don't, then I'm gonna knock down the wall. I'm gonna carry you with me. So it helped them in that regard. But this dude is up there in age. He's in, you know what I'm saying? He's in his late 30s now. This dude wants like stability, man. And some of the things that Russell did when he was in his youth, being able to run around and scramble, like he reminded me so much of Steve Young, like when he was like in his 20s, you know. But now you're getting older, man. The game slowing down. Those hits hurt. You know what I'm saying? And now you really don't want to get hit if it ain't absolutely necessary. And they're not doing everything they need to do in order to build around this dude. So I can understand his frustration. I can understand why he would want to leave. would not surprise me if he does leave. It wouldn't. I mean, honestly, it would be well within his right, because this man been crying into the wilderness for years, and they paid absolutely no attention to it because they were going to the playoffs. But now you're missing the playoffs. Now you're last in the West when you're normally were first or second, man. And you got a fan base now, man. They tasted that nectar of prosperity. Man, they ain't trying to go back to the dark ages, you know? Yet Russell stated if they never fix the O-line, that's their problem. Seahawks are one of the worst teams giving up sacks. I agree with that.
About that. Yep.
Trash. He's not worth the bag just because there aren't a lot of good safeties. Anyone can ball hog end of the half or game throws. Look at most of his picks. They are wild throws he makes a play on. I guess we're talking about Marcus Williams. Look, we can devalue Marcus Williams all you want to, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But the dude is a good safety. He one of the best safeties in football, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like the way this dude covered the field. This man is literally like covering 20 yards of ground in order for him to catch an interception. You know, like this dude has improved in his tackling ability, as a member of the Saints. And then on top of that, man, you need somebody to put their hands on the football and generating turnovers. And this dude knows the system. Only thing this dude knows, is Dennis Allen's system. So, that's all he knows. He doesn't know anything else. So it would be beneficial. Now, they got guys like, that can step up. Like, I would like to see what a guy like Eric Burrell would be able to do. You know what I'm saying? Like he showed a few flashes in preseason. Would like to see what an extra year would do. But look, if you have an opportunity to get Marcus Williams and, you know what I'm saying, it's within your bankroll, I say get the guy. Okay. If not, then I just feel like there's something that's going to be missing out there at the safety position. I have a lot of respect for the dude. And I think that a lot of teams do too. I think some people are still holding on to 2017 and they feel like the bar is low. So maybe they feel like over the years, he just got over that bar. But to me, the dude had 5 interceptions his rookie season. And not to mention, I know we talk about the Minneapolis Miracle, but the Saints wouldn't even had a go-ahead lead if that dude didn't catch an interception in the third quarter. So we quick to forget that because all we remember is the end result. But I have a lot of respect for the dude, and that's just the way I feel about it. What about you, E? Your final thoughts on Marcus Williams?
I mean, you don't want to devalue the guy because you feel like they don't have nothing, because you feel like they don't have nothing out there. I mean, this guy, he is one of the best safeties in the league. I know people still got that Minnesota Miracle in their eyes or whatever for him missing that tackle. But, I mean, that was 2017, man. I mean, it's 2022.
Right.
Like 5 years ago. I mean, the guy has got better since then.
Yeah.
And trust and believe, if he walk out that door, this guy going to get like $40 or $50 million.
Yes.
Trust me.
Yes.
And think about it. The Saints the last 2 years been top 10 in defense. I mean, that just wasn't because of a few people. That's because of the defense collectively as a whole.
Yes.
I mean, you're looking at one of the best defenses in the league. You don't have him. That's like your last line of defense.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're gonna take some lumps if you get rid of him.
Yeah.
So, I say pay this guy. I mean, pay him well so he can continue to do the job that he's been doing or whatever. I mean, the Saints defense, I mean, you look around, how many teams have a defense better than the Saints?
Not many.
Not a lot of teams. We used to laugh at how the Saints defense was like terrible. Yep. Saints, if they scored 35 points, usually the team scored like 31 or 36 or something like that. That ain't happening no more. I mean, Saints shutting teams down or whatever. I mean, we ain't been this dominant on defense since maybe Jim Hashley or the Dome Patrol or whatever. So I say, I mean, you want to keep this dude around. You don't want to devalue him because this ain't no Eli Apple. I mean, this dude really can play some ball.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. You know what I'm saying? And he can cover, unlike Eli Apple. Shark Life says, I kind of want to see him with the Colts via trade. Well, if we're talking about, I assume he's talking about Russell Wilson. I assume he's talking about Russell Wilson because I don't think he's talking about Marcus Williams. Yeah. So because Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz, man. Look, I I like Carson Wentz, man. I really do. But I just feel like that injury that he sustained back in 2017, it just took a toll on his career, and he has not been the same guy. And then you add the fact that the Philadelphia fan base has beaten this dude to the ground. You know what I'm saying? That's a tough market, E. That's a tough market to play in. They're so passionate. They have zero tolerance for BS. And if you're a guy that's kind of thin-skinned, and not to mention a guy who watched another quarterback lead a team that had never won an NFL title to the Super Bowl, and you have to go into the locker room with that, and you got to go out there and perform. But I like Carson Wentz, man. I would like to see this dude on his feet. But if you have a chance at Russell Wilson, you go out there and get him. You got to, man. Carson Wentz, I feel like his confidence is shot. I don't know if he needs a Jameis Winston like kind of year where he sits down to be an intern and sit back and watch, you know what I'm saying, a pro-style quarterback do his thing. Maybe he need to take a trip out there to Kansas City or something like that, get his mojo back, get his swag right. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that to me. Maybe I'm wrong. You know, a guy taking a step back, you know, taking an opportunity to maybe be a backup and then, you know what I'm saying, test the free agent market again and give it another run. But if you had a choice, E, and you were the Indianapolis coach, you were Frank Wright, the head coach, you were, Jim Irsay, are you calling the Seattle Seahawks about Russell Wilson?
I mean, I guess you can. My question would be like, what are they doing in the coach though? I mean, like, what the offense going to look like? Who's the offense going to be built around? Are you going to bring in other receivers to help Carson Wentz? Are you going to bring in another tight end? You know, you got more Alley Cox. But are you going to bring in more weapons to help Carson Wentz?
Hey, they were not bad. Like, man,
no, they wasn't. They wasn't bad. They kind of fell apart like the latter part of the year, but
the last game of the season, week 18, it was a play-in versus Jacksonville. They lost. I mean, he look 2 interceptions late in the second half cost these guys. But you have a lot of these young guys out here. You got Michael Pittman out there. I mean, they literally made T.Y. Hilton expendable. And then not to mention, you got yourself a running game. Yep. A lot of people don't pay attention to the coach.
Nice running game, too.
A lot of people don't pay attention to those guys. But they are on the cusp of something special. They just need a few pieces, and they need to know how to close out games. The biggest issue that I've seen watching Indianapolis play is their inability in big moments to close the deal. That game against Jacksonville, they had no business losing that game. And I understand it's a divisional game, records out the window, but the fact that you were a game away from the playoffs, that was your playoffs. That was wild card weekend for you. And you wet the bed. You know what I'm saying? And you got to look at a guy like Carson Wentz in that regard, because you're the guy. You're the guy that's supposed to lead us to victory. You're the guy who had a pretty solid season. Like, a lot of people weren't talking about his stats, but they were not bad this past season. He was decent. So it seemed like he was starting to get that confidence back. But once again, when the game was on the line, he reverted back to his old ways, those ways of Philly, where when we need you, it's rather you end up getting hurt in the game or you end up like losing us the game. That is what got Carson Wentz tossed up out of Philly. So honestly, the Indianapolis Colts are a really good football team. I just think they need somebody with a little bit more confidence. Now, if Phillip Rivers probably had a few more years in him, like if he came there a couple years earlier, I feel like they probably would have been able to get over that hump. They gave Buffalo everything they can handle when in his very last game in that wild card game. But I like Indianapolis, man.
I think Indianapolis, I think they're a good team. I think they're just a young team. You mentioned how they didn't know how to finish games. That's a mark of a young team, team that's still trying to learn how to win. I mean, in basketball, the Bulls went through it. Lakers went through it with Kobe and Shaq. Yeah. So, I mean, when you're a young player, you still learn how to be a professional and everything, and how to close out games, have that stamina to close teams out and everything. I think that'll come. I do think they will probably be a force in the South, like in the coming years or whatever. I don't think Tennessee always going to be on top of that division. I do think Indianapolis, they got a young defense that I see. The offense, you got Jonathan Taylor, who probably should have got some MVP consideration. I just think that, I think they're gonna run the South. It's coming. I don't think they're gonna trade Wentz. I do think they're gonna have a big trade during free agency, though. I don't know whether it's gonna involve a quarterback, wide receiver, but they're gonna have some big trade. They have a big trade that's coming. That's gonna have a lot of people like scratching their heads. And, man, that's crazy. So I don't know where that's gonna come from. Deshaun Watson, him being traded, I don't think that'll be bigger than people think. Because a lot of people already have him going from Tennessee, from Houston anyway.
And it's understandable. And it's understandable. It's understandable now because look, the whole time, him being on a roster, people understood like, okay, man, like, look, I'm in no way like condoning what's going on behind the scenes or whatever. That's another story for another day. So I think a lot of people understood, okay, man, we got to sit him down. I mean, the block is hot, but he coming back. But they did not account for Davis Mills playing as good as he did. Statistically, this dude put up some really good numbers as a rookie, and he only got better as time went on. And not to mention, when the Los Angeles Chargers came to town, they beat the brakes off them dudes. And this was during the time, like the Indianapolis Colts, the Chargers needed to win that football game. And Houston said, not today, my G. And they slapped them boys around. So a guy like Deshaun Watson coming to Indy, guy like Deshaun Watson possibly going to somewhere, well, not Carolina. I heard they had some issues in that regard. But like playing for the Commanders, I can understand this. And this is the last question. This is a good one right here, E. Okay, this Shark Life, I'm pretty sure he's a Colts fan. He says, I take Trubisky in Indy. Now, some people are looking at this like this crazy. No, no. Look, I promise you, folks, this is not a hot take. It's not a hot take, right? But I can see it. I can see it because here's the thing. You look at a guy like Ryan Tannehill out in Tennessee, right? Ryan Tannehill is a better quarterback when Derrick Henry is playing in the game. Why? It's because the defense has to account for Derrick Henry running the football. And what does Tannehill do well? The play action. If you look at Mitchell Trubisky's stats, he's a better play action passer than any of the other throws that he has. So having a guy like Jonathan Taylor out there that can run in between the tackles, catch out of the backfield, and a defense has to account for can make him look better. You know what I'm saying? Can help him look better. Now, I'm gonna say hell to the no. You know what I'm saying? Because if that's all you doing, you know what I'm saying? Like we got to hit the Bishop Bowinkle with that.
Hell no to the no. Hell to the no.
Okay, so
Bishop.
But yeah, I mean, you want to have a quarterback that can do more things, but if they were to get him, I feel like there would be a role for him. And a lot of people saying Mitchell Trubisky, he making some noise, man. He making some noise when it comes to like free agency, but it's just one of them things, man, like a Genuine concert or a New Edition concert. Like, oh man, I ain't seen them boys in a while, man. what they doing now? Let me go and see this concert. Like, that's what Trubisky is like, man. He's still in the league. He hid out of Buffalo. And he learned under Josh Allen, and now all of a sudden he, trying to make his way back into the league. I think there's some better quarterbacks out there, but all I'm saying is, I can see that. They need a solid number one receiver as well. They have some talent. We talk about Indianapolis.
The Colts.
Yeah, they definitely got some talent, man. They need Devontae Adams. I mean, get a decent quarterback. Devontae Adams looking for some money, playing indoors in the dome.
I can tell you right now, they got a couple teams that's probably 1 or 2 moves away from being real good. I think the Colts probably one of them. He just mentioned a number one receiver. If they get a clear-cut number one receiver, guess what that's going to help? That's going to help Carson Wentz, along with Jonathan Taylor. Because, I mean, you got somebody that people going to fear, possibly double team. That's going to leave somebody like a Mo Alley Cox. You still got Marlon Mack, too, who was the starting running back before Jonathan Taylor got there. So he's pretty good.
Go 1-2 punch.
So it's not like they don't have weapons, but you get a Devontae Adams or somebody like that. That's going to legitimize your pass game, like from day one, and make all your other receivers better.
Yeah, I do think that they need a certified pass rush. You know what I'm saying? They got pass rush by committee out there, but I think they need that alpha dog. Like we know that Darius Leonard is their leader. You know what I'm saying? He's a linebacker, but they need that dog. You know what I'm saying? They need that dog on the line to me that teams fear. You know, and I think that's something, a direction they need to go in. Chosen says, do you guys think Philly will draft a wide receiver in the first round to go with Devontae Smith? Or do you think Chris Olave could fall to the 18th pick, or will he be gone? You know, Chosen, I think that he probably would have fell to the 18th pick to the New Orleans Saints if he didn't run that 4.2. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was already good. He was already good. He was already a beast, and everybody knew that. Everybody was aware of it. But when you're a beast and you run it for a 2, bruh, you know what I'm saying? That's Darius Haywood Bay material right there. Not talent, but draft position.
I say Darius Haywood Bay.
Hey, not talent, because we all know that. Look, Darius Haywood Bay, he was around the league for a minute now. He was in that double digits because he had that speed. But when you add fundamentals along with the speed at the wide receiver position, you got guys undivided attention. And Chance, yes, he did run a 4.39, but look, once again, nobody cares, right? We saw it, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like it's like somebody pull their pants down and pull it up and just keep walking. Like, we just seeing your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't like wipe it away. Yo, we saw it. We saw the 4.26. So, hey, dog, you know, like, so I think he kind of played his way into some better draft positioning. But hey, here's the best part about it, and we alluded to it at the top of the podcast. There are a lot of good wide receivers and a lot of talented guys. So if Olave doesn't fall to the Saints, I don't know about Philly, though. I don't know if Philly going to draft a wide receiver. They got bigger fish to fry. They need linebacker help. You know, your offensive line starting to get older. I don't, you know, like you need some help. And wide receivers ain't it. Like Jalen Reagor may not been all you wanted him to be, but you still got Devontae Smith, and you still can go out here and get yourself some other guys. So
it's a team that I think need offensive line help. I would say, I think Kelsey, I don't know if he's going to be back. So, I think they probably going to need some offensive line, probably, and defensive line help. Somebody that maybe help a Fletcher Cox out or whatever. I mean, they need probably help on the line, too. Late rounds, I mean, we haven't maybe mentioned James Williams and John Mechie yet. Both of those guys were, like, hurt. So, you know, obviously they won't be in probably the first 2 rounds.
Right.
But somebody's going to get one of those guys, and they're probably going to be really happy. I mean, you talk about 2 speedsters. I mean, I've never known somebody to average 30 or 40 yards per catch. But that was James Williams from Alabama. So, I mean, I want to say he tore ACL in that championship game. But somebody's going to get that guy. He's going to rehabilitate. They say he's ahead of schedule right now. So,
I saw that.
They're not looking at him being maybe a top 5 receiver in the draft, but somebody's going to get that guy. He's going to produce.
And, you know, he's going to probably end up going to a team that's really good, because teams that draft wide receivers early, they can't really afford to get a guy that has ACL. They need a guy that's in there right then and there. Like, you want a guy when rookie camp comes around, rookie mini camp, they're there. You know what I'm saying? They're there to run the drills. You're able to be hands-on with them, and you're not thinking about their condition at that particular time. Teams that have success at the wide receiver position or running back position, and you draft a guy who had a lot of promise but ends up, you know, getting the injury, you can afford to draft him, right? You can afford to go out here and say, okay, all right, we'll get him. And you add him once he's healthy, or it's going to be hell. But these other teams, they need to focus on getting guys that are out there right now. So, Chosen, to answer your question, Philly got bigger fish to fry. But this is Philly we talking about here. If the Cowboys get a wide receiver in the first round, guess what they getting? They getting a wide receiver. If the Cowboys getting a linebacker in the first round, guess what Philly doing? They're getting a linebacker. If the Cowboys get a defensive end, then guess what Philly getting? They getting a defensive end. Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you. That's what it is. So the Cowboys pick after them, but we all know that both of these teams, to me, they all about sizzle and absolutely no stake. And as teams in the NFC, and me liking a team in the New Orleans Saints in the NFC, I love it. Like, compete with each other, because we know in January and February, you ain't gonna be competing with the Saints. You know what I'm saying? So I love it. You know, I have no problem with that. We kind of brushed over this guy, Garrett Wilson. I mentioned his name earlier. Garrett Wilson, the counterpart of Chris Olave, had better statistics than Chris Olave at Ohio State. Fundamentally sound, ran a 4.3. What do you think about Garrett Wilson?
These two kind of,
yeah.
I mean, they kind of mirror each other. I mean, they kind of built alike, give or take an inch or so. Speed wise, they both fast, and they pretty much catch everything.
Yep.
I would say Ohio State will probably be wide receiver U. You know, we always talk about LSU being DBU, Iowa being tight end U, and I think that Ohio State has kind of turned, in Oklahoma, kind of turned into like wide receiver U. Yep. I mean, they got a wide receiver that played with Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave. I forget this guy's name. He has like a weird last name. Mm-hmm. I think he's probably going to be better than both of these guys. I forget his name, or Juco, or something like that.
Yeah, because he's like a freshman, isn't he? He was like
he was like a sophomore coming into this year.
Yeah.
But this guy, I think he has more talent than both of these guys. But I think Garrett Wilson, I mean, he's just as talented as Chris Olave. Mm-hmm. It was just a matter of how they transition that talent to the NFL, though. It's more physical in the NFL. Everybody's fast in the NFL. It's not like Ohio State going against Toledo, where you clearly more talented than the other team. Everybody has talent in the NFL. So it's just, Smith. It's just a matter of how you translate that into the NFL. I think both of them probably will do good in the NFL. Yeah. And it really doesn't matter which one you pick, in my opinion. I mean, both of them are talented.
Yeah.
Now, I have seen Garrett Wilson go up and make some Randy Moss-like catches last year. So he is not afraid to high point the ball and go up and get it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy to think that these guys had Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, and Jameson Williams all on the same team. And Michael Thomas, if you follow Mike Thomas on Twitter at Can't Guard Mike, I mean, he had a picture of all three of these guys together. And we're all saying, like, we can't go wrong with either one of these guys, no matter what team gets them. Like, if you get Wilson before Olave, you good. If you get Olave before Wilson, you good. If you get Williams before Olave and Wilson, then you're good. Like, it's just all of these guys are just so extraordinarily talented. Even if, like, if your team like is in the teens, right? If they're in the teens and they're drafting, or in the 20s, you're still going to get somebody that can give you production day one. Mm-hmm. Not too many. Like, you would probably have to go like 2015 for this, when you had like Brandon Cooks and you had Odell Beckham Jr. and you had like all these wide receivers, Mike Evans. Like, you had all these guys in the first round that gave you instant production from from day one. So I think that you're going to see this with these guys this season. But before we wrap up, we got to talk about Amari Cooper. He'll be the last topic of the conversation for the podcast. I'm pretty sure everybody heard that they're talking about the Cowboys releasing Amari Cooper. And with that, they will save $20 million of them things. All right, $20 million by releasing Amari Cooper. Smart decision by the Dallas Cowboys, or do you think that they're going to come back? It's going to come back to bite them. I mean, I would hope that it come back to bite them, because I hate the Cowboys. I'm just being honest. But do you think that it's going to like bite these guys in the rear end by getting rid of a guy who is as talented as Amari Cooper is?
I mean, they already have their number 1 draft pick in CD Lamb. They got Jeremy Gallen. Also, Michael, I forget to do first. Michael Gallup, or whatever.
Michael Gallup, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they have those two. I foresee it's crazy. I see them staying in the division. I see somebody like the Giants getting them or something like that. As ironic as that is, so you just released the guy, which means he can sign with anybody under the sun, pretty much.
Yeah.
And so I could see him possibly being with the Giants. Somebody like Landry, him helping Daniel Jones out or whatever. I could see him staying in the division. But I mean, the fact of the matter is 20 million is 20 million. And if you needed to cut that money, I mean, you had to do it some kind of way.
Yeah.
So who's to say they won't, or get somebody late round in the draft or whatever, somebody that you don't have to give them too much money. Maybe somebody in the 3rd or 4th round, somebody that come in and contribute. You'll save a lot of money. So I mean, I think it's a good look for the Cowgirls, but it's just a matter of who they get to replace him.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, E. If I'm a front office guy, if I'm a general manager or, owner, there's no way in hell I'm touching Amari Cooper via trade because I already know that you're going to release him, right? Look, that had to be the stupidest move ever, okay? I'm pretty sure whoever said that had absolutely nothing to do with the Cowboys. Would not have surprised me if this was Amari Cooper's agent representation who leaked this news, because there's no way in the world you're going to come out here and say that we're going to think about releasing this guy if we can't trade him. If you're on another team, if you're in the front office of another team, and I really want Amari Cooper, I'm struggling. I need myself a wide receiver. Why in the world would I call up the Cowboys when I know for a fact if the phone don't ring, I'm gonna get him anyway? I can reach out to his agent. Hey man, I heard Amari got cut. Oh man, that sucks. But we definitely would use his services out here in Indy. We definitely can use his services out here in Atlanta because Calvin Ridley may not come back. We definitely can use his services out here in San Francisco because we really don't have a dominant, receiver outside of Deebo Samuels, somebody that can complement him when he's running in between the tackles, right? So you have guys that, that will not ring the phone because they're going to get what they want at the end of the day. Now, as far as the $20 million is concerned, he doesn't deserve it. I'm just being serious. He don't deserve $20 million. Is he talented? Yes. Is he a playmaker? Yes. Is he a guy that people just come into the arenas fearing week in, week out? Hell no. He is not. Now, I mean, if you have Michael Gallup, CD Lamb, you got Schultz, right? You got Zeke out there. You know what I'm saying? Like you got, all these other guys, catch the ball out of the backfield. Other running back escapes my mind right now. But you have all these other dudes that can do some really good things. You don't need Amari Cooper. And you know what I'm saying? Like, and the thing about it is $20 million for Amari is very, very steep. But I do believe, him leaving Dallas will be a blessing in disguise. Because some guys, thank you, Chosen. Tony Pollard was the guy I'm thinking about.
And I think he's better than Zeke as far as like a home run hit out the backfield.
Yes. Now, over the last couple of years, last couple of years, he has been better than Zeke. A lot of people don't want to hear that, but it's the truth. Zeke,
it's the truth. He can catch out the backfield, and I mean, he's a home run hitter. Yep.
Yes. Thank you. That's just the truth, man. Like, he's been playing better. He's been playing better than Zeke. But what I'm saying is, him leaving the Dallas Cowboys might be a blessing in disguise because sometimes guys aren't built for high-profile circumstances. We talked about Carson Wentz. I don't feel like he's built for high-profile circumstances. Amari Cooper, I don't feel like it's built for high-profile circumstances. To me, if he lived in like that A.J. Green Cincinnati Bengals world, and I know the Bengals went to the Super Bowl, but before that, we know they suck. If he was like A.J. Green, Larry Fitzgerald, like lived in that world right there where he was just consistent over the years. No, like nobody would care. Like he is definitely that good. He is definitely that good. But playing for the Cowboys, being critiqued every week. Oh, he played bad away from home. Oh, he playing good today. They playing in Cowboy Stadium. I feel like he is not built for that. Guys like CeeDee Lamb, they are built for that. Guys like Michael Gallup are built for that. You know, Amari is a guy who has like he's a superstar, but he has a Kawhi Leonard type mentality in my like, you know, like I'm gonna just do my job and I'm gonna take my behind home. So I do see him playing for a team like Indianapolis. I do see him playing for a team like the Falcons. I can see him playing for a team like the 49ers. Those are three teams right there. Even though the 49ers are in California, they don't come with that fanfare like a Rams team does, you know? So I do feel like going to another market where there's not as much fanfare and people ain't critiquing everything that you do, and they're more excited about you being there and you'll get them next week, player, then, man, you suck, you terrible, you're the reason why we ain't win no Super Bowl in the last 25 years. I mean, that's just the way I look at it.
What about Amari Cooper? You mentioned the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody like him, he's veteran enough to want to play for a contender. I was about to throw the Lions in on that, but I don't really see him being with the Lions. I see him kind of being with a contender.
Yeah.
Somebody like, you know, like you said, like the 49ers.
Patriots
the Colts
too.
Will be the Patriots too. The Colts will be an interesting team though. Right on the cusp of the maybe like the playoffs or whatever. Needing somebody that would be a number one receiver. I mean, we're not saying Amari Cooper's trash, but I mean, I would not. Would you say he's a top 10 receiver in the NFL?
Amari Cooper?
Ew. I would say he's probably around the outside of being maybe a top 10, maybe like
Chad, help 14, us out with this.
15,
Chad,
something like that.
Yeah. Let's see, man. Let's see. I'm gonna start it off, okay? I'm gonna start it off. Let's do a top 10 here. All right. You tell me yes. I'm gonna just throw some names out. You tell me yes or no. All right. Justin Jefferson, top 10?
Nah, not yet. Not yet. Okay. I don't think so.
All right. DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably number one.
All right. Devontae Adams.
Probably number one and number two.
Mike Evans.
I'll probably 11, 12, maybe. I don't know.
Okay. Shoot. Let's see. I mean, let me look about the DK Metcalf.
I'll probably put him in the top 10.
Okay. Gonna throw it down. Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, he's in the top 10 now, I think.
Okay, so we didn't got 3 up in that thing. Would you put Odell in there? Odell top 10?
Nah.
No. Ooh, why?
He hurt enough. I mean, if he wasn't hurt like he's been the last 2 or 3 years, yeah, I will put him in there. I mean, he's been hurt, and that's kind of been hurting like his production and everything. Yeah, he got top 10 talent, but been hurt.
Okay.
He's been hurt like the last 2 or 3 years or whatever.
Yeah, okay. All right. So we'll leave him out. Okay. And I'm not going to put Michael Thomas in there either right now. You know
yeah, because he was hurt.
Like,
and if he wasn't hurt, I automatically put him in the top 10.
So when people hear this, I want people to fully understand that we're taking into account activity over the last couple of years, okay? So when we talk about top 10, not to say that they don't have top 10 talent. Like if you bring Antonio Brown in there, like of course he has top 10 talent, but he hasn't been around. All right, so we got 3 in there. We got Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, and we got Hopkins. All right, so let's throw it down a little bit. Let's go to the NFC West. Deebo Samuels.
I'll put him in the top 10 after this year. Yeah, then he's kind of been doing it by himself.
Right.
I'll put him in the top 10. You're talking about somebody that's like multi-dimensional, catch the ball, run the ball as a running back. I mean, this dude like a Swiss Army knife. So, yeah, I'll put him in the top 10 because of that.
All right. So we talked about Seattle. We talked about the 49ers. Talked about the Rams. Arizona, we brought in DeAndre Hopkins. So let's go down to the East. Okay, so the Giants next. Okay, would you put McLaurin? McLaurin for the Commanders in there, top 10.
He probably right around that 12, 13 range, probably too. I don't see him being top 10 just yet because, I mean, who's throwing on the ball?
Yeah.
So he got to be,
Good point.
He will be top 10, I think, if you get somebody that can actually throw him the ball consistently or whatever, because the dude is good.
All right. Devontae Smith. We talking Philly now. Top 10?
Nah, not yet.
Okay. CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, any one of those guys belong to top 10?
No, cool.
Okay. All right. So we did the West, we did the East. Let's do the North. We already said Devontae Adams with Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody we talked about the Lions. They need a wide receiver.
Yeah. Nobody on their team.
I mean, the Bears, Allen Robinson. Would you put him in the top 10?
Nah. I would put Adam Thielen. I'll put him in the top 10.
Okay. So, all right, we're gonna put consistency, but you're not gonna put Justin Jefferson in the top 10.
He closer to the top 10. I'll throw him in the top 10.
I mean, come on, man. We got to think about this. Okay, Adam Thielen. I love Adam Thielen. But Adam Thielen been dealing with hamstrings now just a couple of years ago. Now, in the same realm, and when we talk about Michael Thomas, if we're talking top 10, he will actually be in that thing.
He'd be top 3.
Okay, so I'll throw Justin Jefferson in there because he had a good rookie campaign and he doubled down on it in the sophomore campaign.
Yep.
I'll put him in there.
He could be in there.
But he in there. Okay, 9 out of 10, he'll be in there. Okay, so we talked about the North. The Bears, we said Allen Robinson, he closed, not quite. All right, we talked about the Lions. Next, Green Bay Packers, they got Adams. So let's move on. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. All right, so we talked about the North. Let's talk about the South. All right, Calvin Ridley.
Nah.
No Calvin Ridley. All right, Mike Evans.
Yeah, you can throw him. Go and throw him in the top 10.
Okay, all right. So
they don't have a lot of teams in the South as far as like top 10 receivers, in my opinion, other than him. So yeah, you can go and throw him in there.
Yeah. All right. So we got 5, right? We got 5 now. We got Hopkins, we got Adams, we got Kupp, we got Jefferson, and we got Mike Evans in that thing. Chris Godwin, would you put him in there?
Nah, I wouldn't put him in there.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So look, we know nobody on the Saints outside Michael Thomas. We suspended him because he ain't playing a couple of years. Okay. So all right. So now we got 5, right? We got 5.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go to AFC. Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, go and throw him in there. You might as well throw him in. Let's see who else. This is the West we talking about, right? Yeah. So nobody for the Raiders, nobody for the Broncos. Chiefs, you got Tyreek Hill.
Yep.
Chargers. Go and throw what that dude name is for the Chargers.
Keenan Allen.
Go and throw him in there.
We gotta throw Keenan Allen off in that thing. All right, that's 7. That's 7. All right. Stephon Diggs.
You go and throw him in there.
Okay, so
let me see. Shit, that's it out the East, I think. Unless I'm forgetting you got Devontae Parker, but no, you good because we got to put Jamar Chase. That's 9, and I don't even care. I mean, you could throw some.
I would not allow you to disrespect my guy Chris Godwin like that. I know he played for the rival, but the dude is good. So I'm gonna just say 10. If you play. Okay, look, it's okay. Out of him or Amari Cooper, he in there. Amari Cooper in the top 10.
Yeah, I'm putting Godwin in over Cooper. That's somebody else that's probably going to be a free agent too this year too. So you might want to keep an eye on him.
So he on the outside looking in. All right, so he on the outside. So we named 10. Okay, somebody said Cortland Sutton out of Denver, talented, but. I mean, I don't know, man. A lot of unanswered questions out there. Teddy B, Drew Lock. Somebody said AJ Brown.
Brown. Not at this point in this career. I'm not.
12, 13. Look, I'm not taking none of those guys out. I'm not taking none of them dudes. And this is in no particular order now. We just talking about top 10. Like, if you want to have a list, we'll cross that bridge when we get there one day. but we're talking about actual guys that would make the cut. I'm not taking anybody off the list for AJ Brown. Talented.
And if I didn't put Stephon Diggs on that list, I mean, he wouldn't even be a top 10 list in my opinion. That boy is a beast.
Yep. Somebody said Lions need a whole team. Oh man.
I mean, they kind of do. I mean, they fight hard. I mean, they're a team that fight hard or whatever, and they never quit. But I mean, how far can you go with just that alone and without talent?
Not
just a talented dude.
You're not going anywhere with that. You know what I'm saying? Like it just ain't happening. But as we wrap it up, man, I'm interested to see what these teams are going to do in the NFL draft. I'm interested to see like what direction some of these squads are going to go in. I'm interested to see about Detroit. I'm interested to see about the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm interested, in another team, that a lot of people, aren't really paying that much attention to. I guess, from a quarterback perspective, but that is the Green Bay Packers, man. Like, what direction really are they going to go in? Like, are they going to get tired of Aaron Rodgers? You know what I'm saying? Like, man, look, man, bump this. We're going to try to do that. And also, another team that, that had a lot of promise was the Miami Dolphins. 7 games, man. They won 7 games in a row with Brian Flores, which is a story for another day. But can they capitalize on that? And then to me, this playoff a bust. This playoff a bust for me for Miami. It is. Because you need to justify firing a coach who gave you more success than you had in a decade and a half. So if Mike McDaniel ain't leading you across that water, I don't want to hear nothing. Like the bar needs to be so high for Miami where they cutting coaches that are on the threshold of a playoffs when y'all ain't sniffed the playoffs in what? Chad Pennington was around that joint. Like, so I don't know, man. What about you, E? What are you looking at storyline wise?
I mean, honestly, I think Miami gonna make the playoffs. I mean, that always seemed to happen. A coach come in, he build up a team, and then another coach just reap the benefits of it.
Yep.
I mean, we seen that with
Jimmy Johnson, Bears.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson. I mean, we seen that with Cleveland a few years ago. He built up the team. Then the coach come in, and then they all of a sudden they're a playoff team or whatever. John Gruden with Tampa Bay build that team up. Now they in a Super Bowl. Well, I mean the Raiders build that team up and now they're in a Super Bowl or whatever.
Yep.
So I mean that always seemed to happen. But I mean this Aaron Rodgers thing, I guess that's kind of intriguing. A lot of people want to know like what the hell he doing, why he up on Twitter sending these weird messages or whatever. Right. What does that all mean? I mean, nobody's Nostradamus, so we don't really know what that means. But like I said, I do think they're going to have some kind of blockbuster trade. Something's going to happen that's going to have people, man, what the hell? Like I might be at work and might have a ESPN thing go off on my phone. Like, man, what? Yeah. Might be in class somewhere. Like that always happen. But I do think something's going to happen where, it's going to be a shocker.
Yeah.
Whether it's Russell Wilson, whether it's Rodgers, whether it's another star coming from somewhere going to a different place, whether it's a coach. We mentioned about Sean Payton. I don't want to touch into that too much, but we mentioned about Sean Payton earlier.
Yeah.
So whether it's a coach, I mean, we don't know what's going to happen, but I do think something is going to come that's going to be a surprise to a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, look, nothing really surprised me about the National Football League at all. I just look at what's going on and I just adjust accordingly. But I just, like I said, I love to see teams who start off in the mailroom, wait to the executive floor. And these are the moments and the times where this stuff is going on. So I want to see what these teams are going to do, how these players are going to develop, some of the pro days they're going to have, and not to mention, I got to mention this, HBCUs, man. I want to see some of my HBCU brethren get drafted, okay? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I know we had the HBCU day and all that kind of stuff where, the Legacy Bowl and all that. Yeah, it was nice. And, you got a bunch of legendary HBCU players out there and stuff like that with them baggy stepping style suits. But I would like to see more than a dog and pony show, bro. Like I'm going to continue to say this until I actually see some change. I'm calling cap on the HBCU Legacy Bowl until I see some brothers from HBCUs get drafted, you know what I'm saying? And like consistently. I'm calling cap. Seriously. I don't like everybody's so excited about that, but I want to see all these guys going to get a chance because I ain't seen none of these brothers get accepted to the combine. And I know for a fact they had at least a dozen of these guys that were worthy. Guys like a Quill Glass out of Alabama A&M. Telling me this dude don't deserve to throw at the combine. You kidding me? Put up them numbers last, you know what I'm saying, in the spring of 2021. You know what I'm saying? Like led the SWAC in passing yards and touchdowns this fall. Like, come on, man. Like, give me a break. Like, you telling me this dude don't deserve to be there? So that's what I'm looking forward to, E. I want to see if the HBCUs are going to be represented in the NFL draft. If it's not, then I'm going to continue to call the NFL, the phony league. You know what I'm saying? Because that's phony, bro. Like, don't just do stuff, you know what I'm saying, for transparency. Like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, look, they making change. Like, really facilitate that change. That's what I want. That's what I want.
I see no change, to be honest. In the coming years, I do see more HBCU draft picks being drafted in the NFL because that talent level seems to be going up because of people at your alma mater, Jackson State. You got Prime over there.
Yeah.
You got Grambling State trying to do some things.
Yeah.
What I like to see is Tennessee State. I heard they was in the news there in the OVC, the Ohio Valley Conference.
Right.
I made a prediction on Pick Six blog on Facebook. I said that within about 2 or 3 years, this team would be in your conference, the SWAC.
The SWAC, yeah.
And I do think that, this would give the SWAC a Tennessee school. This would give you 13 teams, I want to say.
Yeah.
Then you just have to add another team. But I think they belong in the SWAC, to be honest with you. They play Jackson State every year. They played Grambling State a few times, Southern.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, they are HBCU with history behind them. Eddie George is the coach. And like I said, in about 2 or 3 years, I can see them actually being in the SWAC.
Yeah. Look, that would be a good look. I would like to see the SWAC expand. Hell, I would like to see HBCU football expand, just as a whole, like I think they're making steps when it comes to the Heritage Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Like, when the Black National Championship, as they call it, like take that off. You know what I'm saying? Just call it the HBCU. Yeah, the Black. So what's the other one?
Black.
So what's the other one? You know what I'm saying? Like, so if this is the Black one, and then on top of that, man, like, where is South Carolina State's invitation to the White House, by the way? We ain't see that, but Alabama fell off in that thing, Georgia up in that thing, right? But anyway, that's another story for another day, man. But thank y'all so much for checking out the Crescent City Connection podcast, episode number 1. It is yours truly, TJ Jones, alongside my big brother EJ. EJ, let everybody know how they can get in touch with you, man.
You can hit me up at EJ the Sports Fan at Instagram, at Twitter. I think I even got a TikTok page or whatever. Pick Six Blog World at Twitter, at Instagram. I'm always posting new things. I will start my podcast pretty soon. And just look out for different articles that I may put up, different things that I might see that I'm interested in, different things that, I'm a sports person. So you might see things from football, basketball, college basketball, hell, MMA. I might hit you off with, a lot of different things. Right. So just be on the lookout, like I said, Pick Six Blog World and EJ the Sports Fan.
Yeah, man, no doubt, man. We're looking forward to all your commentary, going on with Pick Six Blog World. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com, search Crescent City Connection Podcast. There's also a Facebook page under the same name. You can follow me on Twitter at TJAYJones8. And of course, you already know that y'all can check out the State of the Saints podcast, the podcast where we talk New Orleans Saints every single week. We got some Saints news coming down. I gotta make a video about, man. They already said that they're not going to put a tag on Marcus Williams or Teron Armstead. That's coming from Catherine Terrell out there with the Athletic. So that's going to be interesting. Definitely want to talk about that. But thank you all so much for your time. Really do appreciate it. Much love to you. Looking forward to episode number 2, where we're talking all sports, NFL, NBA, MLB. Might get to that with that lockout. Will they ever come back? I don't know.
Sure, locking out. They canceling games and everything.
I don't know what they're doing over there, but we're probably going to be talking about that also. But thank y'all so much. Take care. Much love to you. Peace out.